Guys, we had a great week last week, and I wanted to get this video out for you guys in Bitmine and SBET because we had a great close on Friday. And where are we going to go this week? That's a question that a lot of people, it's very hard to answer because it's a short period of time. I know long term, and I've been right on this so far, that these are only going to go higher. I've already taught you guys that the assets and the ETH backing each token is going higher and higher. And even Tom Lee came out and said on BMNR, he's at $35 now, $35. The time before he spoke, it was $22 worth of backing. Now he has $35, and I think it's even higher now. It's probably closer to $40 because the price of ETH, well, as the price of ETH keeps going up, because of this, the backing for the treasury companies keeps going higher. So now ETH is at 47.85 and just hit, by the way, 49.50, which is an all-time high. Everyone thought it was going to go to 5,000. I'm here to teach you guys what's really going on because I'm in crypto. I live and breathe this stuff all the time, so I can help you guys understand this. I didn't think it was going to break out right away to 5,000 because I've seen these games before. I'm going to help you guys understand what's going on. First of all, when you see this, latest 2.2 billion in shorts will be liquidated when ETH hits 5,000. This is to get everyone excited to think we're going to go to 5,000, and once we hit 5,000, it's going to explode. Well, this is kind of a ruse, okay? What will happen here is that most of these bets are institutions, and also places like Binance and these other big exchanges will lose money if it does hit 5,000. So they got to give it kind of a break, market manipulate it a little bit at least for a little bit of time before they can let that happen. They're on the wrong side of this trade, okay? Who is shorting it right now? Institutions. You saw in the CME. And who's going long? Retail. So they can't let retail win. Because if retail wins, they lose. So all of these guys, all these exchanges are just kind of fighting to hold it back. For how long they're going to be able to do that? Well, they can do it for a little bit. You can see the strength here is really strong. Just bounced off that line. It's coming. And this article sums up what's going on so you guys understand. Because ETH's price is very important for people in SBET and Bitmine. As ETH breaks above 4,900, analyst sums up crypto market. BTC is exhausted, ETH isn't. I'm going to show you guys what's going on in BTC and why it is exhausted, why people are saying that why people are saying ETH is going to go to 10,000 and it is inevitable, so that you guys understand what is about to happen. This is what's happening so you guys understand. There are big entities that are dumping their BTC, and that's where you're starting to see the divergence of price between BTC and ETH. You're starting to see these big whales or institutions possibly sell their BTC and get into ETH. Why they would do that? I mean, they have billions of dollars. Well, I guess, I would just get a loan on it or something like that. But, these guys, they think a little bit differently. But this is what's going on right now. This is this guy, Gordon, who I follow, Alt Gordon on X, is pretty good. This is truly insane. Two OG whales with 90,000 BTC are dumping Bitcoin to buy ETH. In just 4 days, they have sold $1.4 billion in BTC to buy ETH, and you could kind of see that in the trade. You could see that in the daily trade. What you would see is the price of ETH keeps going higher and the BTC is not moving, or it would actually start going down a little bit. And that was weird. I was like, what? And I knew this was what's going on. And I went on different places, forums and places, and all the other news outlets, everything I check, and X and everywhere. And I was like, this is happening, right? These guys are dumping it. And exactly what I thought. They still hold over $8 billion in BTC and will likely dump to buy ETH. Now, I don't think they're going to dump their $8 billion bag of BTC to buy ETH. I don't think so. I think they're moving some into ETH because these people are experienced. They've been through many cycles probably, and they understand what happens. So let me repeat the cycles, guys. Okay? BTC moves first. This is exactly what's happened in the last two, and it's happening in this cycle also. So ignore this at your own peril. This is going to happen again. Listen up. This is the playbook. Don't mess this up. It's not going to fucking magically change. Okay? It's happened 2 other times. And yes, the past does not predict the future. We know that also from stock markets. But it correlates pretty damn highly. Okay? We've seen that also. Bitcoin moves first, as it did. Then ETH came. Now, ETH this time struggled to get there, but it got there, okay? That's the good news, and it got there. And alt season starts when ETH hit new highs. Now, it hit a new high, but a little bit above it. What I really want to see alt season get going is when ETH gets to like 6,000, 6,500, 7,000. That's when alt season begins, and that's when you start seeing all the tokens in the top 15 start going. Then you're seeing all the tokens from 15 to 30 going, and then you start to see all the tokens from 30 to 50 going, and then as ETH keeps ripping and the other ones keep ripping, all of a sudden everything goes. Now this could take 6 months. It could take 9 months. It could take 3 months. We don't know how long these things go. If I had a guess, I'd say somewhere in that 6-month period is how long it's going to take. That is what is going to happen, because that's happened in the past, and the history generally repeats itself, because humans, I don't know what to say about humans. We kind of repeat our past, right? We kind of do. So that's what it is. So please be aware of the cycles and how it works. This will help you guys make maximum amount of money off SharpLink Gaming. Now, how much how much ETH does SharpLink Gaming have? Also, I haven't seen this change. This is a strategic ETH reserve.xyz. They're actually doing a really good job monitoring it. They're still at the 740. You see, once they're at NAV, they also said they're not going to sell anymore at NAV. Okay, so since they're basically at NAV, they're not going to be able to sell any stocks, which kind of sucks. That's why you want them to keep buying. When are they going to issue bonds? I don't know. When is Bitmine going to issue bonds? I don't know. I wish they would do it soon, because really the bonds, once they start issuing this, gives them unlimited powder to keep buying. The only one that has enough powder to keep buying is probably Bitmine at this point. But we'll see. Bitmine's NAV has been compressed to probably, this is outdated, I probably put it around 1.5, I think, which is still really good, but it's down from 2. I'd like to see both Bitmine and SharpLink go significantly higher. I would love to see SharpLink. People are starting to wake up. Same thing with Bitmine. People are starting to wake up and understand the importance of these treasury companies. SharpLink will be back in the 40s and 50s and 60s and will make new highs. There is no doubt in my mind. It is a fact. It's just a matter of time. Okay? There was a lot of people were saying, like last week, oh, it's going to go to 0 and all this stuff when it was down at 18. Frankly, if I didn't already have a lot of it, I would have just kept buying. Okay? 18, you're basically buying ETH. Okay, and then they came out with a SharpLink authorizes $1.5 billion stock buyback, and they did it at a very timely time on a day where the stock market was way up. Okay, so these guys are smart. They're timing when they come forward with stuff. And you're also starting to see something very important. Okay, this is something to keep note of. Up 16%, another 2% here. Let's call it 18, 19% on a day that I think ETH was up 4 or 5%, or maybe even a little bit more than that. But this is what's important about it. This is almost like a leverage situation. So if you think ETH is going to get to 10,000, what do you think SharpLink is going to be and Bitmine is going to be when ETH is at 10,000? It's not going to be $40. Bitmine's not going to be $100. Double that, at least $100 for SharpLink, maybe higher, and at least I would say probably $250 for Bitmine. So that's what you have to remember because of the yield that it produces, okay? Please start understanding how these things function, and you'll make more money, okay? Now, the last part about all this, well, before we get to the heat map, liquidations happen. You're like, oh, it was going so well. What happened? Well, this is the heat map for 24 hours. I do check these from time to time because if it gets too hot on one side or the other, what I've seen exchanges do is they try to hunt to liquidate people because they don't want to pay out these winning bets. If there's too many bets down here and this goes too far up, well, they end up paying out these bets. The exchanges are the ones on the hook for it, and they don't want to be. So guess what they did? They did a little bit of a, cleaning house before they sent it back up. So this is generally what happens in crypto. Please don't freak out if something gets to 5,000 and goes to 4,800. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Yes, believe it. It's crypto. This is what it is. This is what you signed up for. Don't be a pussy is what I can say. Okay? So another thing you're starting to see is a divergence between Ethereum and Bitcoin. They were kind of moving lockstep for a while, but now you're starting to see even that divergence. You've seen that's 1 hour and 24 hour and 7 day. A lot of this stuff was kind of like syncing up within a few percentage points of each other. Now you're starting to see a divergence. This is what you want to see because alt season has its own mind and its own body and its own thing. Okay? You want it to split off. Ethereum is going to become more volatile. It's going to move up faster than Bitcoin. It's going to dump faster than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a lot more stability built into it because of all the stuff that's going on and all these companies buying it and all these other, options. Just everything's bigger. It's more liquid. It's $2.3 trillion market. It's bigger versus a $570 billion market. It's just a lot more robust. So what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to end up seeing Ethereum get closer and closer to the price of Bitcoin over the next 6 months. That's generally what's happened. You start to see it. The dominance of Bitcoin will go down. The dominance of Ethereum will go up. I believe it's going to get to at least 65% of its dominance this cycle. Other people believe it's going to go to 85 and flip it. I don't believe that. I think 65 is right because last cycle was 85%. And the cycle before that was 105%. So I think it'll be a little bit lower each time. But I could be wrong. It could go higher. And you know what? That's why I own both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's why you should too. Because you don't know what's going to happen. That's facts. You just kind of diversify across the board. So anyways, that's why I got liquidated. That's what's going on. Please play the game as you should. And there's a lot of great data coming out, first of all, so you guys understand. Just in $2.2 billion in short positions to be liquidated when ETH reaches 5,000. It didn't. You know why? Because they don't want to have $2.2 billion of shorts being liquidated because it's the exchanges and institutions themselves. So they kind of put a break on it. For now, they can only put a temporary break on it, okay? Ethereum just broke a record most people don't know about. It became the fastest major asset in history to hit $500 billion market cap. Think about that. This is actually really telling. If you don't think Ethereum's getting to $1 trillion this cycle, I think it's like 95% chance it is. I would take that bet. It is going to go to $1 trillion market cap, which is about $9,000 a token. And it'll probably be the fastest in world history. Yes, even faster than Bitcoin. It took Bitcoin 12 years to get to 500 billion. Isn't that crazy? ExxonMobil 7.9, which is not even right. I think that's when they combined. It took them that long. If you go before that, they were separate companies. It would be like 100 years. PetroChina also, they had a long history before they went public. Ethereum went public right away. Meta, 13.5 years. Tesla, Tesla fanboys. Took 17 years for Tesla to get to 500 billion. And just look at these numbers. It took Amazon 23 years. Microsoft, 24 years. It took Apple 35.9 years to get to $500 billion market cap. It took Ethereum 5.8 years. It is a worldwide asset. It is also very different than these because it is used as gas and as a cryptocurrency and as a measure of, I would say, health of an ecosystem. So it's actually utility to Ethereum. There's so much you can do with Ethereum. You can't stake these other tokens. Some of them give yields, not all of them, So there's just so much more you can do, and they make income. And that income kind of comes back to you from those fees back to the users at stake. It's actually quite ingenious. It could be used to pay for things, buy things. I can't really do anything with my Microsoft stock. It's in your portfolio, and that's kind of it. Or my Amazon stock, or Tencent, or Alibaba, or whatever you own. So this is where crypto kind of has that edge over everything, plus being a worldwide market where these really don't. So it's actually really interesting to see this kind of data come out, because now it's really making people hopefully think and understand why Ethereum is so powerful. It's basically powering entire Web3 revolution. And this is worth, in my opinion, at least $1 trillion, maybe even $2 trillion in the very near future, okay? So these are things to understand. Now, these OG wallets we talked about that are basically selling BTC, selling ETH, are not the only ones. There are other ones selling smaller amounts, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of BTC to a few $1 million worth of BTC. And guess what? They are buying ETH because these people, they understand how the cycle works. They understand that ETH could go to 10,000, 15,000. In that same period, Bitcoin might only go to like 130, 140, 150. Yes, Bitcoin could cap out at around 140, 150. I know Tom Lee and some people think it'll get to 200, and I hope it does, but I'm not counting on it. I think conservatively 150, 160 by the end of the year is probably doable. Tom Lee thinks 200. I mean, I've been in crypto a long time. I know that getting to those numbers, it just gets harder and harder, and there's a lot of Bitcoin whales. I mean, there's a lot. Ethereum doesn't have as many whales because it's more distributed. It's better distribution. Bitcoin is a whale game. There are so many Bitcoin whales out there with $100 million, $200 million. It's just shocking. And a lot of times, obviously early days, they've helped them get to the size they are, but a lot of times, they hold it back. They start selling, and we don't know what they're going to do. So we'll see. And Binance just flushed longs, dumped millions in ETH. I mean, like I said, this is what's happening. Binance and these big exchanges have to flush the longs from time to time because their liabilities will grow too much. If those longs are, especially they're using a lot of leverage, it becomes a problem for them, you know? So that's what's going on, guys. I think if we need to put a price mark on this next week, I think SharpLink Gaming and BMNR, the volatility that we're seeing out of ETH, the volatility that's coming out of ETH is going to be absolutely fantastic. We want to see it's already moved up another 1%. We want this volatility. This volatility is what's going to fuel BMNR and SBET into selling more at the market. It's going to help them also get a higher NAV. The volatility needs to increase. I love the fact it went almost to 5,000 and fell. This is the kind of volatility I want to see during a trading day, because then it makes people dump and then the volatility increases, option prices, all this stuff. It gets crazy. And this is what Michael Saylor used to raise so much money for strategy. So please keep these things in mind. And by the way, this chart wants to break. I think it was the DEXs that were like, you know what, we got to put a break on this or else we're going to lose too much money. So I think this is a temporary pause. I mean, this is a hell of a chart. I mean, if you've seen a bullish chart like this, I mean, ETH is the asset to be in. I mean, wow, this is the asset. I mean, here I just stopped looking. I was crying in my heart, and I own a lot of ETH, and I've been holding since the last bear market, and I've been holding for years. And I was crying a little bit, but at the same time, I couldn't sell it. I wasn't going to sell it. I knew the narratives in crypto change. A lot of people did sell down here, but I know one thing. Narratives in crypto change like this. They change fast. The narrative is correct. And if you listen to Tom Lee's last interview he just did recently, he said, we are telling the ETH Foundation what Wall Street wants and what they're looking for. They didn't have that before. Now they have that. Bitcoin's had that for years, by the way. Years. Okay? What do you think is going to happen? Read between the lines. He told you we know what to tell Wall Street now because we're advising the Ethereum Foundation what Wall Street is looking for. They've set the narrative now. And you want to sell this early? It's too early. It's just getting started. Guys, keep an eye on the price of ETH. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be insane. And this is what you want. You want volatility. This week, we get a lot of volatility in the price of ETH. We might get price discovery. You want all of this stuff. Don't be a pussy. Don't be scared. This is what you signed up for. If you don't want this, go trade baseball cards or the S&P. Okay? Don't be in the comments saying stupid crap. Oh, it's down 5%, 10%. He's like scared. This is different. This is a different world. Understand these assets. Bitmine and SBET are different. They just are. They're tied to a very volatile asset and they're leveraged. What do you think is going to happen? Okay. Understand the math behind it all. And once you do, you wouldn't have been scared to buy it at 18 or 19 like I wasn't. I was telling my buddies. They called me up. I'm like, buy it. I'm like, I'm out of gas. I don't have any more cash. I would be buying it. But I'm holding. Not only am I going to make a profit, I'm going to make a huge profit on this. It's just a matter of time. Anyway, guys, best of luck.